The key delusion in the human experience is that there's any kind of conflict that's real. As long as I believe myself to only be a human, I'm just this little human with this unavoidable death looming, and everything seems to be bringing this about. I mean, all the fears that come up in human life is ultimately around death. So afraid of this impending death that a lot of times we don't live. We're afraid to fully live. This is all built on the idea that I expire. And it's all built on really zooming in on this one human, as though it really matters. Whatever I say matters. So I have the opportunity to look at everything I've taken on, everything in this experience that creates contraction. So I can ask myself this question constantly. In this moment, what is in the way of my happiness? Or what is in the way of happiness? There's nothing really in the way of happiness. The only real one, we could say myself, but ultimately no self, no thing, is not subject to unhappiness or suffering. There is this play happening. On the surface, there's the appearance of suffering. The way that this play is happening can change through the realization of my true nature, So everything that's out there swirling in chaos and in impermanence, everything out there subject to birth and death, is not ultimately real. To try to make it real, to hang on to it. And the humans are the only ones that do this. We take pictures, we imitate, we immortalize. We preserve. We live in time. To try to hang on to this is just insane. It's insanity. So most humans are insane. And we have to acknowledge that. This changes the whole approach to all of this. No longer can I be in service to what other humans think I'm supposed to be like. Because they're insane. Any way you look at it. Where is conflict? Where does it exist? Everything out there, nature tends to itself. It's doing fine effortlessly. All of this flowing effortlessly. Even this body, its main functions are effortless. Breathing happens without my paying attention to it. Tons of chemical reactions, the flowing of fluids, digesting of food. It takes energy, but it is effortless. So where is there effort? Where is there a blockage? Only in the mind. And then manifested in the body. The body is our tool to understand where we're off course. If I'm emotionally off course, that may be here, and it may be in the face. If I'm thinking too much, that'll be here. Shouldering too much responsibility, here. Fixated on survival, that's in the hips. The body doesn't malfunction. The body is manifesting the state of mind. So even this conflict, this idea that my body doesn't work properly, that's an idea held in the mind. And that's just going to be reinforced in the body once I determine that. A great example of this was 20 years ago when I had a diagnosis of an anxiety disorder. Nobody asked me what was going on in my life that might be leading to this disorder. But what I knew was that I didn't have a disorder. This anxiety was coming after a series of events deemed traumatic. It wasn't who I was. I was very fortunate to know this then, as a 20-year-old. In my experience, this is why there wasn't the acting out of a disorder over the coming years. And I don't want to speak for everybody. I can only speak for this experience in this body. There was, by a competent doctor, a diagnosis given, and that diagnosis was not bought into, and it was not experienced. The anxiety that came up was worked through and passed. The same could be said for so many symptoms, so many so-called disorders that came up with all of this that are no longer here. If I buy into the idea that there's a conflict, that there is some base level conflict with the world, with how this works, that something is wrong, the mind is going to be the tool to act out, to hone into, seek out what's wrong. The body's going to present the physical manifestation of that, and that's the experience. Is it true? Is anything wrong? Everything out here is impermanent. It doesn't pertain to me. I am beyond death. I am beyond pain. I am beyond shame. I am beyond anything the mind has ever said about me via anything. Because all of this is unreal. I am the only real thing. So the mind can only ever be talking about me, and so can only ever be lying about me. So when the mind says there's a problem, we need to fix this. Is that true? No. Is there anyone other than me? Is there anyone other than me? If there's no other, what could there possibly be a conflict about? If there is a mind saying something that I don't like, who's the other? Who's I? Who's the mind? If there's only one, there can't be a split. The split is fake. It's an illusion. If I'm out here trying to enter into a relationship, with whom? If I think I need a relationship to complete me, with whom? Who is there to complete me? In what way am I not complete? According to what others so-called others in the illusion have said, based on their delusion, that they're incomplete. There's a shared human delusion about being incomplete. It's never real for anyone. No matter how violent, no matter how insane. They're the same as me. There's no other. There's no real conflict. So when I say, yeah, but what do I do about the fact that right now the mind is not stopping? Because the mind won't even stop long enough for me to let what you said sink in. I have been there. Was it a problem? No, it wasn't. Did I lie to myself and say, this is a problem that I have? Yes, I did. Did it show itself to be true? Yes, it did. In the illusion. There's no problem. The mind isn't you. If the mind isn't you, how is that your problem? Let it be over there happening. Or we could say within you happening. As everything else is happening. What this does is it cuts off the energy supply to the mind. The mind feeds on energy directed toward it. Buy-in. The resistance to the mind is energy directed toward it. The attachment to the mind, the idea that the mind is actually really fun and I don't want to lose it. I like doing these puzzles, solving these problems with this mind. It entertains me. That's a lie. The mind likes it. You crave nothing. You need nothing. All of this is obeying you. All of this is a reflection of consciousness from various vantage points cooperating. Ultimately, one. The state of consciousness now is manifesting out there as this. When I stop believing that I have to force the universe to follow the person's will, that the universe needs to bend to the person's will, when I stop buying into the fact that I am the lie, that I am the person, and I have to push, I have to exert effort in order to be happy. This is a fundamental lie. So when I stop buying into it, and I don't have to believe in anything else, I just have to stop believing that. This shifts. Life becomes effortless. It becomes effortless automatically. Nothing even has to change out there for life to become effortless because you've chosen to live effortlessly. So I have said, what is in the way of my happiness? Made up problems. I want outward success. I am focused on outward success more than happiness, because happiness can just be there. There is a lie that I need to have success in order to have happiness. I need to have the relationship in order to have happiness. It takes, we could say faith or something like that, but really it takes dropping fear, in which case there's no need for something like courage. There's just no fear. Dropping fear creates like a vacuum in the experience, and what fills it is effortless, peaceful, joyful, loving. And then this translates into circumstance. If I am no longer attached to the idea that I have to get the job and get the loan and buy the house, own the things, these things can come in many ways that we could never have imagined, that the mind could never have conjured. There could never have been a mind plan that says, here's how it'll go, in the kind of ways that the universe, that awareness ultimately is capable of dancing into being. If I need my daily coffee shop cup of coffee, and I need my recent model car to function flawlessly on my way to a 40-hour high-paying job, and I need the people in my life to respect me, to see me a certain way, in this swirling ball of chaos, I have placed a lot of obstacles in the way of my happiness. If I need nothing in order to be happy, that changes this whole equation, because I can just be happy now, right now, now. And then everything can flow from that. It doesn't have to happen in order to make me happy. Nothing is now in service of making me happy. There are no conditions on this life, on the life that I am. Let it be effortless. If I am fixating my attention on everything out there that looks like struggle, that's the literal world that I'm creating for myself. Is it selfish to turn away? We're not really turning away, but shifting my attention to love, peace, abundance, beauty that is everywhere. Everywhere. How could that be selfish? There's no other self to tell me that I'm selfish. Selfishness only is selfish if I'm acting as the person. When I rest in my true nature, that self, really the no self, projecting itself into these appearances of separate selves, serves the all. And the way that I live, the choices that come into this experience through this human when I am knowingly as myself serve the all. So even in the conceptual mind idea of selfish, this doesn't meet that. It only differs from the lie that says making myself unhappy about world events is helpful, is obligatory, is productive. This doesn't mean I need to be oblivious. I can understand and I can hold compassion for what's going on. Because avoiding what's going out in the world would be human stuff. That would be a person concept. I don't need to avoid anything. In the same way, I am not afraid of what's happening. So I don't need to fixate. I'm not under the delusion that reading and reading and reading is going to fix the outside. Or that it needs fixed. If your mind is saying, there's no way I can just drop this, live in faith, and just let this be, let this happen. You haven't suffered enough. That's what suffering is for. So you'll have more suffering until there comes a point where at the soul level, click, no more. And that can be gradual. In this case, it's gradual. There are so many more things that have been sort of worked through, experienced in a certain way, insights gained. And then there are still things that pull in the attention for a time. But it's all now in service. Ultimately, I am here to learn and to break this down. Letting go of delusion constantly. So when it comes up, there's no conversation. Oh, am I maybe not really enlightened? What will people think of this? I have to appear a certain way. Who cares? Other people are never going to understand this experience. And yet, other people are powered by the consciousness that I am. We've never stopped being one. So I don't care how you act. I'm still one with you, and I still love you.